Okay, this week we are reading Torah Parsha Bo. This is in Exodus chapter 10, verse 1 through chapter 13, verse 16. And Yahweh said to Moses, "Go into Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants, that I may show these my signs among them, and that you may tell in the ears of your son and of your son's son what things I have wrought upon Egypt, and any signs which I have done among them, that you may know that I am Yahweh." And Moses and Aaron went into Pharaoh, and said to him, "In this manner says Yahweh, the Elohim of the Hebrews, how long will you refuse to humble yourself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. If you refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow I will bring locusts into your border, and they shall cover the face of the earth, so that one shall not be able to see the earth, and they shall eat the residue of that which is escaped, which remains unto you from the hail, and shall eat every tree which grows for you out of the field. And your houses shall be filled, and the houses of all your servants, and the houses of all the Egyptians, as neither your fathers nor your fathers have seen, since the day they were upon the earth to this day." And he turned and went out from Pharaoh. And Pharaoh's servants said to him, "How long shall this man be a snare to us? Let the men go, that they may serve Yahweh their Elohim. Don't you know yet that Egypt is destroyed?" And Moses and Aaron were brought again to Pharaoh, and he said to them, "Go, serve Yahweh your Elohim. But who are they that shall go?" And Moses said, "We will go with our young and with our old, with our sons and with our daughters, with our flocks and with our herds. We will go, for we must hold a feast to Yahweh." And he said to them, "So be Yahweh with you, as I will let you go, and your little ones look to it, for evil is before you. Not so. Go now, you that are men, and serve Yahweh, for that is what you desire." And they were driven out from Pharaoh's presence. And Yahweh said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come up upon the land of Egypt, and eat every herb of the land, even all that the hail has left." And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt, and Yahweh brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up all over the land of Egypt, and rested in all the borders of Egypt. Very grievous were they. Before them there were no such locusts as they, neither after them shall be such. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened. And they ate every herb of the land, and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. And there remained no green thing, neither tree or herb of the field, throughout all the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh quickly called for Moses and Aaron, and he said, "I have sinned against Yahweh your Elohim, and against you. Now therefore forgive, I pray you, my sin only this once, and pray to Yahweh your Elohim, that he may take away from me this death only." And he went out from Pharaoh, and prayed to Yahweh. And Yahweh turned a very strong west wind, which took up the locusts, and drove them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in all the border of Egypt. But Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not let the children of Israel go. And Yahweh said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt." And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose anyone from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. And Pharaoh called to Moses and said, "Go serve Yahweh. Only let your flocks and your herds stay behind. Let your little ones also go with you." And Moses said, "You must also give to our hand sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice to Yahweh our Elohim. Our cattle also shall go with us. There shall not a hoof be left behind, for we must take them to serve Yahweh our Elohim, and we do not know with what we must serve Yahweh until we get there." But Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go. And Pharaoh said to him, "Get from me, Take heed to yourself, see my face no more, for in the day you see my face, you shall die. And Moses said, You have spoken well. I will see your face again no more. And Yahweh said to Moses, One more plague will I bring upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go from here. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out from here altogether. Speak now in the ears of the people, and then let them ask every man of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold. And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. And Moses said, In this manner says Yahweh, About midnight I will go out into the middle of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sits on the throne, even to the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of cattle. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there has not been, nor shall be any more. But against any of the children of Israel, not a dog shall move his tongue, against man or beast, that you may know that Yahweh makes a distinction between the Egyptians and Israel. And all these your servants shall come down to me and bow down to me, saying, Get you out, and all the people that follow you, and after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in hot anger. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Pharaoh will not listen to you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. And Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, and Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not let the children of Israel go out of his land. And Yahweh spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be to you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to themselves every man a lamb, according to their fathers' houses, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too little for a lamb, then shall he and his neighbor next to his house take one, according to the number of the souls. According to every man's eating, you shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male a year old. You shall take it from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it at evening. And they shall take of the blood, and put it on the 2 side posts, and on the lintel, and upon the houses in which they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread. With bitter herbs they shall eat it. Do not eat it raw, nor boiled with water, but roast with fire, its head with its legs, and with the inwards of it. And ye shall let none of it remain until the morning, but that which remains of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. And thus shall you eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And he shall eat it in haste. It is Yahweh's Passover. For I will go through the land of Egypt in that night, and will kill all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the Elohim of Egypt I will execute judgments. I am Yahweh. And the blood shall be to you for a token on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and there shall no plague be on you to destroy you, when I strike the land of Egypt. And this day shall be to you for a memorial, and you shall keep it a feast to Yahweh throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread. Even the first day you shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. And in the first day there shall be to you a holy convocation, and in the 7th day a holy convocation. No manner of work shall be done in them, except that which every man must eat, that only may be done by you. And you shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this very day have I brought your hosts out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall you observe this day throughout your generations by an ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, at evening, ye shall eat unleavened bread, until the 21st day of the month at evening. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whoever eats that which is leavened, that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he is a sojourner or one that is born in the land. Ye shall eat nothing leavened. In all your habitations shall you eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said to them, Draw out, and take you lambs according to your families, and kill the Passover. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out of the door of his house until the morning. For Yahweh will pass through to destroy the Egyptians. And when he sees the blood upon the lintel and on the 2 side posts, Yahweh will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to destroy you. And you shall observe this thing for an ordinance to you and to your sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when you have come into the land which Yahweh will give you, according as he has promised, that you shall keep this service. And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say to you, What do you mean by this service? That you shall say, It is the sacrifice of Yahweh's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he destroyed the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshipped. And the children of Israel went and did so, as Yahweh had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass at midnight that Yahweh killed all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne, to the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, Rise up, go forth from among my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go, serve Yahweh as you have said. Take both your flocks and your herds, as you have said, and be gone, and bless me also. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people to send them out of the land in a hurry, for they said, We are all dead men. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders, and the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses. And they asked of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they let them have what they asked. And they plundered the Egyptians. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men, besides children. And a mixed multitude also went up with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. And they baked unleavened cakes of dough, which they brought forth out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt, and could not delay. Neither had they prepared for themselves any food. Now the time that the children of Israel dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to pass, at the end of 430 years, even the very day it came to pass, that all the hosts of Yahweh went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be much observed to Yahweh, for bringing them out from the land of Egypt. This is the night of Yahweh, to be much observed of all the children of Israel throughout their generations. And Yahweh said to Moses and Aaron, This is the ordinance of the Passover. No foreigner shall eat of it, but every man's servant that is bought for money, when you have circumcised him, then he shall eat of it. A sojourner and a hired servant shall not eat of it. In one house shall it be eaten. You shall not carry forth any of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall you break a bone of it. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with you, and will keep the Passover to Yahweh, let all his males be circumcised. And then let him come near and keep it, and he shall be as one that is born in the land. But no uncircumcised person shall eat of it. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and to the stranger that sojourns among you. In this manner did all the children of Israel, as Yahweh commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass the same day that Yahweh brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their hosts. And Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Sanctify to me all the firstborn, whatever opens the womb among the children of Israel, both of men and of beasts, it is mine. And Moses said to the people, Remember this day in which you came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand Yahweh brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day you go forth in the month Abib. And it shall be, when Yahweh shall bring you into the land of the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Amorite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that ye shall keep this service in the month. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and the seventh day shall be a feast to Yahweh. Unleavened bread shall be eaten throughout the 7 days, and there shall no leavened bread be seen with you, neither shall there be leaven seen with you in all your borders. And you shall tell your son in that day, saying, It is because of that which Yahweh did for me when I came forth out of Egypt. And it shall be for a sign to you upon your hand, and for a memorial between your eyes, that the law of Yahweh may be in your mouth. For with a strong hand has Yahweh brought you out of Egypt. You shall therefore keep this ordinance in its season from year to year. And it shall be, when Yahweh shall bring you into the land of the Canaanite, as he swore to you and to your fathers, and shall give it to you, that you shall set apart to Yahweh all that opens the womb, and every firstling which you have that comes of a beast, the males shall be Yahweh's. And every firstling of an ass you shall redeem with a lamb. And if you will not redeem it, then you shall break its neck. And all of the firstborn of man among your sons you shall redeem. And it shall be, when your son asks you in time to come, saying, What is this? That ye shall say to him, By strength of hand Yahweh brought us up from Egypt, from the house of bondage. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that Yahweh killed all the firstborn of beasts. Therefore I sacrifice to Yahweh all that opens the womb, being males. But all the firstborn of my sons I redeem. And it shall be for a sign upon your hand, and for frontlets between your eyes. For by strength of hand Yahweh brought us forth out of Egypt.